Before you have abs, before you have a six-pack, there's no room for cheat meal. We're not doing cheat meals. You don't deserve a cheat meal. If you're not consistent in your life and you keep going up and down, you're not gonna make progress. Still skinny fat. Getting some cheeks at night is not enough cardio to burn fat. Bulking and cutting is not going to get you shredded. It's not gonna help you build muscle. This is the formula that's gonna get you shredded. If you follow this diet routine and this training regimen, then you will get shredded and retain your muscles. A lot of guys feel like they're doing everything right, but they're still skinny fat. Do you really think you would be this way if you were doing everything right? If you were eating the proper nutrition, if you were training properly, if you were doing cardio every single day, do you still think you would get this outcome? Your body is gonna reflect what you're doing. Your outcomes reflect your inputs. If you don't put in the right inputs, you'll never get the outcome. So let's analyze what you're doing wrong that's keeping you skinny fat. Number one, you're not eating enough protein. If you don't eat enough protein, your body is not gonna be able to put on muscle and you're not gonna be able to stay lean. You might be thinking to yourself, I know I'm supposed to eat protein, but how much protein should I eat? Here's a simple formula to know exactly how much protein you should eat. If you are, let's say, 180 pounds and you want to get to, let's say, 160. You would multiply 160 times 1 gram of protein, and that would give you 160 grams of protein. So whatever your goal weight is, if you're looking to lose fat, then you would simply multiply your weight times 1 gram of protein, or your target weight times 1 gram of protein, depending on what your goal is. Protein is essential for building muscle and repairing tissue. The whole point of working out is to break down the tissue to build muscle. So if you don't eat your protein, you're not gonna build muscle, you're not gonna recover, and you're not going to get out of that skinny fat state. I see a lot of guys who are skinny fat, they wanna go on a pescatarian diet, they wanna do keto, they wanna do all these different type of diets, when the only diet that you need is hitting your protein while being in a calorie deficit. And that's what brings me to my next point. You need to be in a slight calorie deficit. And a huge mistake that I see a lot of guys making is they put themselves in a large caloric deficit and they do something called bulk and cut. Bulking and cutting is not going to get you shredded. It's not gonna help you build muscle. And here's why. When you bulk and cut, you go from here to here to here to here to here to here. You don't make steady progress. The only way to make steady progress is to maintain and continue going up. And what a lot of guys don't understand is that when you bulk and cut, you only retain about 30% of your gains. So in totality, if you bulk and cut, you're not gonna make as much progress as someone who's maintaining because you're constantly going up and down. It's the same with being consistent. If you're not consistent in your life and you keep going up and down, you're not gonna make progress because you've never been dedicated enough on a long enough time horizon to even achieve a goal. And it's the same thing with bulking and cutting. If you're not in a proper calorie deficit, you're not going to get shredded. You should be in a 300 calorie deficit with your food. So minus 300 with your food. To find your maintenance calories, you would simply go online, you can go on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT what your maintenance calories are based on your height, weight, body fat percentage, etc. Then you take that maintenance calories and you subtract it by 300 calories. Once you subtract your caloric maintenance by 300 calories, the next step in the process is to implement steady state cardio. So number 3 is implement steady state cardio. And no, getting some cheeks at night is not enough cardio to burn fat. Steady state cardio is level 2 cardio, which means you're not running out of breath, you can still breathe, you can still talk, that you're going to implement into your training regimen every single day. When you go to the gym, after your workout, or you can split your workout into 2 workouts, you're gonna do 45 minutes of steady state cardio on 3.5 speed on an incline of 8. Eventually, you want to work your way up to an incline of 15 or higher. But for beginners, start off with an incline of 8. This will allow you to burn approximately 400 calories per session. So that will put you at a caloric deficit if we subtract the 300 calories from our meal and the 400 calories that we're burning on the Stairmaster or the treadmill. If we subtract both of those, that means you'll be burning 700 calories. You're in a 700 calorie deficit. There's no way you're not gonna get shredded. There's no way. If you consistently do this every single day, you will get shredded. But the key is to always keep your protein high. If you don't keep your protein high, that's just gonna lead to you getting skinny fat. The last thing that you wanna do, which is step 4, is you want to continue to lift heavy. A lot of guys, when they're cutting or trying to lose weight, they feel that energy dip and they decide to stop lifting heavy. This is the worst thing. This is where you become skinny fat and this is where you lose your muscle. Instead, you want to continue to lift heavy. And to keep your energy level high and not lower it, you don't want to cut carbs too much. So you want to keep your carbs moderate. You want to have high protein, moderate carbs, lower fats. That's the formula to getting yourself out of that skinny fat rut. It should be 1 times body weight equals your protein, right? And then your carbs should be moderate. I'm gonna put an M here for moderate, and you should have low fats. This is the formula that's gonna get you shredded. If you follow this diet routine and this training regimen, then you will get shredded and retain your muscles. You might be saying, okay, sounds pretty simple, but what about cheat meals? Let me break something down for you. When you have a cheat meal, you're not delaying gratification. We need to start practicing delayed gratification. You guys are so worried about having a cheat meal when you haven't even received or achieved anything. You don't deserve a cheat meal. Until you see the abs on your freaking stomach, you don't deserve a cheat meal. So forget about the cheat meal. Once you have abs, then we can talk about cheat meals, implementing those in twice a week. But before you have abs, before you have a 6-pack, there's no room for cheat meal. We're not doing cheat meals. Get results first, delay gratification, and then enjoy yourself. Because you can enjoy the meal so much more when you see the results, when you see the work that you're putting in. Too many times, us skinny fat guys who started off skinny fat, we want to indulge in cheat meals. We want to find the easiest way, but simply follow the formula, get shredded, and then implement cheat meals. What I like to do is implement a cheat meal every single Sunday, or I'll do a cheat meal on Wednesday and Sunday and calculate it on a week span so I'm still in a calorie deficit or a maintenance calorie depending on what my goal is. But forget about the cheat meals. Follow the formula that I presented to you and you will go from skinny fat to shredded. Thanks for watching, guys.